Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottama
Naram Chaiva Narottama
Devim Saraswati Vyasam
Devim Saraswati Vyasam
Tato Jayamudire
Tato Jayamudire
Namaskaraisha Bhagavatu
Namaskar Bhagaveshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Samasloke
Bhagavata Sloke
Bhakti Bhavati Naistiti.
Bhakti Bhavati Vaishnava.
So we continue with our reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 49. Chapter 18, perfection of renunciation. Asakabuli sarvatra
Sakyamuni Sarvatra
Jitatmāyataspihā
Jitatamāligatāspiha
Naistamyasiddhim paramam
Naishkarma Siddhyam Paramamam
Sanyasena vimucchati
Saranasena Daruchati
Asakabuli sarvatra
Saptamuni Sarvastra
Jitatmāyataspihā
Jatma Vigatastraha
Naistamyasiddhim paramam
Siddhim Paramam
Sanyasena vimucchati
Sanyasena Daruchati
Asakabuli sarvatra
Buddhi Sarvastra
Jitatmāyataspihā
Jitatma Vigatastraha
Naistamyasiddhim paramam
Naishkarma Siddhim Paramam
Sanyasani vigacchati
Sanyasena Vigachati
Asakabuli sarvatra
Saktabuddhi Sarvatra
Jitatmāyataspihā
Jitatma Vigatastraha
Naistamyasiddhim paramam
Naishkarma Siddhim Paramam
Sanyasena vigacchati
Sanyasena Vigachati Asaktabuddhi Sarvatra Jitatma Vigatastraha Naishkarma Siddhim Paramam Sanyasena Vigachati Asakti Buddhi Sarvatra Jitatma Vigatastraha Naishkarma Siddhim Paramam Sani Siddhi Vigachati Asaktabuddhi Sarvatra Jitatma Vigatastraha Naishkarma Siddhim Paramam Sanyasena Vigachati Asaktabuddhi Sarvatra Jitatma Vigatastraha Naishkarma Siddhim Paramam Sanyasena Vigachati Asaktabuddhi Sarvatra Jitatma Vigatastraha Naishkarma Siddhim Paramam
Asakabudi, having an attached intelligence. Sarvatra, everywhere. Gita Atma, having control of the mind. Vijata Sriha, without material desires. Naiskarmaya Siddhi, the perfection of non-reaction. Paramount, supreme. Sannyasena, but the renounced order of life. Adhyatati, one attains. Translation. One who is self-controlled and unattached and who disregards all material enjoyments can obtain by practice of renunciation the highest perfect state of freedom from reaction. Repeat after me, please. One who is self-controlled and unattached and who disregards all material enjoyments can obtain by practice of renunciation the highest perfect state of freedom from reaction. Bhaktivedanta Bhagavata. Real renunciation means that one should always think himself part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and therefore think that he has no right to enjoy the results of his work. Since he is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, the results of his work must be enjoyed by the Supreme Lord. This is actually Krishna consciousness. The person acting in Krishna consciousness is really a sannyasi, one in renounced order of life. But such a mentality, one is satisfied because he is actually acting for the Supreme. Thus, he is not attached to anything material. He becomes accustomed to not taking pleasure in anything beyond the transcendental happiness derived from the service of the Lord. A sannyasi is supposed to be free from the reactions of his past activities. But a person who is in Krishna consciousness automatically attains his perfection without even accepting the so-called order of renunciation. This state of mind is called yoga Nidana, or the perfectional state of yoga. As confirmed in the third chapter, Yatvatma Rati Ekasya, one who is satisfied in himself has no fear of any kind of reaction from this activity. Krishna is continuing to expound into deeper detail what is how one can actually be looking to Supreme Personality, and how one can free himself from the reactions of the activities that have been performed by him. So in this verse it says, one who is self-controlled and unattached. Self-control. How do we become self-controlled? We have the following related principles that are being practiced. No nicotine, no intoxication, no material conflict, no illicit sex. Basically, those are aspects of trying to help you to control. They help us to control the major habits. That's what we term the belly of the genetics. Those are actually the main habits that we have with us. So, by practicing the four related principles, we are actually trying to be self-controlled. And by being self-controlled, it also helps you to be unattached. You become a little bit away. And also, it also helps you to disregard all material enjoyments. Because if you're not self-controlled, then Mother Nature has a play for you. Or Maya has a play for you. They'll take you right, left, center. They do whatever they want to do because of being uncontrolled. But if you are controlled, automatically, by following the four related principles, they are actually a practice for renunciation. Because you are renouncing the major pleasures that everybody seeks in this world. By following the four related principles, you are actually rejecting the pleasures of this world, trying to look for a higher taste, trying to reach the perfect state of freedom from reaction. Because that is the only way that we can actually reach our freedom of reaction. Everything that we do in this world, like yesterday we read that every endeavor is covered by some fault. Every endeavor committed in this world is covered by some fault. And we have to try and see that whatever endeavor we are performing does not bring back the reaction. And in the purpose here, Prabhupada says very clearly that by having one who is not attached to anything material, he becomes accustomed to not taking pleasure in anything beyond the transcendental happiness derived from the service of the Lord. So by practicing these regulative principles, we are actually concentrating all our efforts in service to the Lord. So we have to try always, no matter how hard it is, to keep up this determination to serve the Lord. We have to be determined in every aspect of our lives to serve the Lord. Because Prabhupada says real renunciation is that one should always think himself part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And therefore think that he has no right to enjoy the results of his work. A lot of the times in the world, everybody wants to enjoy their work. They want to find the pleasure of achievement, material achievement, the pleasure of being in the top person in your class if you're a student, or having done something that is wonderful. They take pride in that. But Prabhupada left over 108 wonderful temples all over the world. There's never a time that he went down and he was so proud of it. He was always humble. He was always saying, I'm trying to be the servant. Because he even denied himself of being called the servant of God. Because he said that being servant of God is very difficult. It's very, very difficult to be a servant of God. You can only be a servant of the servant of God. You can only be the servant of the servant of God. Because he said that to try and move to Krishna, to serve Krishna directly, that's almost impossible. But if you can just please one of the servants of God, then Krishna will be pleased with him and give him devotional service. So similarly, they are also called upon, and that is why it's actually so important for everyone to be initiated by a bona fide guru. It's very, very important for one to be initiated by a bona fide guru. Why? Because the guru knows how to direct you towards Krishna. He'll try, if the guru is pleased, automatically Krishna is also pleased. We always say how that saying that it goes around, that if you cannot please the Guru who is here with you, how can you please God who you cannot see? Or how can you please the deities that you haven't learned yet how to reciprocate to them? A lot of us, when we come here, we look at the deities, but then by looking at them, we have not built that inner connection with them, such that we can reciprocate with them, we can talk to them, they can talk back to us, and we have that personal relationship. That personal relationship with the deities is still lacking in us. Because if you are in that platform, that's actually a very, very high platform. And those are some of the achievements that we should always be praying for. Lord, may I be of service to you, may I relate to you. Or sometimes you just come and sit at the deities and just say, Lord, please talk to me. Talk to me. They talk. I know that they talk. They answer. You ask questions, they answer. I know that. So we have to try and always be, like Prabhupada says, fully Krishna conscious, being unattached, being unmotivated, being not depending on the results of our work, enjoying them, but looking at what is going to be pleasing to Krishna. What does Krishna enjoy? What does Krishna do? What is Krishna wanting of me? Yeah? If we continue thinking like that, then we shall constantly be thinking about Krishna. If you are always thinking, what can I do for Krishna? Okay, now I'm here. What will Krishna want me to do? Or what will Krishna want to say to me? Or what message is he trying to relate to me? Or even I can bring petitions from others. Krishna, so and so has got so much. Please help me to help them. Yeah? We can always relate. Our minds are always very, very busy doing a lot of things. But if we are there fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, then we find that we have a better chance of being Krishna conscious. I was thinking that if only we have a book, one head, and he's so busy and he's telling us, what about people like Brahma who have 4 heads? Or Shiva who has 5 heads? If he's materialistic, how much rancor does he have to know? How does he control the one? That one soul control 4 or 5 heads at once. Or even they say for an appreciation for thousands of heads. How does soul have 1,000 heads? And how do you think? What is it thinking at any one time? 1,000 thoughts at the same time? It's just completely mind-boggling. If only we walk with our only one head, we cannot be able to even control it. What about 1,000 heads? How are we able to control it? And the only way that we understand that we can control it is that another change constantly sings of the glories of the Lord. Because the glories of the Lord are ever fresh, ever being renewed. And there are newer and better pastimes every moment of time. Because the spiritual world is not constant. This material world is constant and deteriorates. It gets reduced. Everything here is being minus or divided. Yeah? But in the spiritual world, everything is plus and multiplication. Yeah? It's positive and it's being multiplied. Yeah? A lot of times, everything that is in the spiritual world is actually being multiplied always. So, we have to try and be, like Prabhupada says, that we are supposed to be free from the reactions of past activities. And how do we become that? We have the holy name of the Lord, we have the Shastras, we have the devotees of the Lord, and we have the Lord Himself. We are covered. So if we have 4 heads, at least we will need 1 head of every subject. 1 in the Lord Himself, 1 in the Shastras, 1 in the Guru, 1 in the devotees. But we have 1 head at least right now. None of them can try and engage us and pull us away from the Maya that permeates our thoughts, the rancor that goes on. in our heads always. So by just trying to follow these 4 aspects and being engaged in them fully, we are able to control our minds very, very nicely. And even more so, especially in the chanting of the Holy Name. Because we are told that once one becomes Krishna conscious, he automatically attains the perfections without even accepting the so-called order of renunciation. Krishna promises that for one who is dedicated to him, he will preserve everything. For one who is dedicated to him, he will preserve what they already have, okay? And he will add to them what they lack. So by depending on Krishna fully, then the little service that we render him is already preserved. Because he says, a little advancement in this course is never lost. So that little advancement that we make, that is permanent. That's guaranteed. It's always there for you. It's always there for me also. But what I lack by being fully Krishna conscious, Krishna is promising to supply that. And that one there is part of dedication. Today I was thinking, we are in a Swahili speaking country, but we hardly speak anything in Swahili. We have a Bhagavad Gita that's been translated into Swahili. Fortunately, I was given the task by my Guru Maharaj to translate these books into Swahili. That's my task. And unfortunately, I've neglected that duty for so long. So now I'm slowly coming back to it, trying to fulfill what my Guru Maharaj had asked me to do. So today I was just thinking that there's a very, very nice Swahili song that talks about how the Sadaka. And for those who understand Swahili, I'll translate it later. We can look at it that way. Because we say that we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So it is starting from that agreement that I being a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, how do I relate to him? And it goes like this. Katika safari yangu tatembea na wewe, pamoja na wewe, pamoja na wewe. Katika safari yangu tatembea na wewe, mahali with you. And the verse goes that together, me and you, in my journey here, I'll always walk with you. I do not look for any wealth in this world to be, or any respect. I do not care for any problems that arise, but all that I want is to be with you. And he says that lead me on this journey, take me with you up to the gates of heaven, so that I can be able to enter into the spiritual sky with you. That's what actually is okay. So you can see that radically, you can use any language to praise Krishna, and it will have very, very good meaning. For one who understands that. That's why Prabhupada used to insist that these books have to be translated to all the languages. Because if someone can understand it from their language, it's easier for them. And if they can now read it, then they have a point of reference that if they deviate or if they forget, they have a point of coming back to where they can be memorized, and also they are awakening their sleeping consciousness. So today's verse is very, very significant because it talks about self-control, being unattached, discarding material enjoyments, practicing renunciation, and reaching the highest perfect state of freedom from reaction. And the only way that we can do that is Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam, Kalam Nasti, Eva Nasti, Eva Nasti, Eva Bhakti Ramita. Yes, by chanting Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Goma Bhakti Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you very much.